Hello, my name is Thomas Lancaster. I'm a university academic responsible for student marketing, student recruitment, and I'm a successful user of Twitter. I've worked out this year that I've been getting, on average, at least 1,000 Twitter impressions per day in 2016. That's at least 1,000 people looking at my tweets, and I want to take this opportunity to show you why. And if you are interested in finding out more about me and about my role and looking at my tweets, you can look at twitter.com/Dr. Lancaster. I'm fast approaching 10,000 tweets there. So why am I excited to share this with you? Well, this is how my average Twitter impressions per day have looked in 2016. You'll see they started off just below the 1,000 mark. They've soon surpassed that in February, 1.1 tweets per day, 1,100 tweets. March nearly doubled that. Slight dip in April, which I'll talk about later in this video, and then very good in May. And in fact, the impressions so far, we're in June, is that these numbers have gone up yet again. So what's happened to be so exciting about this and to help with those figures? Well, talking about these 823 impressions in January 2016. That's my best tweet, got 823 impressions during January, so pretty good going. And this was the tweet: today's interview on student cheating with BBC Radio Kent is an iPlayer starting 132 in. So the interesting thing about this one is that I do quite a lot of work with the media, and when I get a chance I promote that, and this was a series of several tweets. I know that people were keen to listen to the interview I did about student cheating, and this was a direct link to it. And of course there's got people engaged and retweeting this because of both the build-up and the area of interest to a number of my followers. Things improved a huge amount though in February though. My best tweet then got 3,742 impressions, and very happy with that, but that was really because I was involved with organising quite a large event. It was called BCU Hack. It was a student programming competition, a hackathon, and this is a tweet that got all that attention. Just 7 days until BCU Hack, our sponsors, My BCU, Hacker Earth, Try Majestic, Codio HQ, Urban Hacks, Clever Cherry have set top coding challenges. So this tweet is talking about all the different people who were sponsoring the event, and there are some good names there. You wouldn't have heard of all of them, but they were all companies keen to get publicity online, and so all these different companies were able to retweet this and to promote it and to favourite it and like it, and it's good publicity for them. It means they're getting value for their sponsorship, and I'm all about helping sponsors to do well. And of course, it doesn't hurt that it was a good message, a very positive message about what they've been doing. In March, another good month, 2,430 impressions of my top tweet. I mean, again, this related to exactly the same event, the BCU Hackathon, which happened to take place on the 29th of February, 1st of March, so it overlapped that time period. And this was the result. It was mentioning the winners of the competition along with the companies that picked those team members at the top. And obviously this is great because people want to celebrate success. Now the students mentioned there, I've done some work with them since. They're very talented, very able people. They haven't necessarily got huge Twitter followings, but of course people want to celebrate student success, and that's exactly what was happening here and why this tweet was successful. Moving on to April, I did 1,372 impressions. That was down a bit, but also I should add that I was on annual leave a lot of the time, not very active with university activities, and in fact my top tweet there in April was what's a wonderful Showboat musical tonight with Gina Beck and C. Peluso. Perfect transfer and still just as moving as at Sheffield. Showboat. So this was a great theatrical tweet about a excellent theatre production, and of course actors are very keen to help their shows along, and so this is also a good way of getting exposure and some interesting and nice comments in return for that one. Moving on to May, 2,863 impressions, another great month, and another month celebrating student success as well. Congratulations to Wahid Rafiq, 33, and Steve Abidgo for winning Entrepreneurial Student of the Year BCU Extra Mile. So this was a competition for students and celebrated some students who managed to get a huge amount of publicity for the work that they'd done as well, and really demonstrated their entrepreneurial spirit. And of course, these were my students as well, which also helped with the publicity there. So a very similar way to the previous tweet. Now, even better in June, we're only partway through. 6,110 impressions. I expect that number has gone up by now, of my most successful tweet. And this one, Dave McClure discussing how startups raise investment, proof of market more important than the idea, SGEurope. So this was a conference aimed at startup companies. It's an area I do a lot of work with. I like to work with the companies and help them out, help them with their marketing and consult. And Dave McClure, very well known investor, a huge amount of following because people think they might get money from him. He helped to publicize that tweet, and the hashtag tapping into all that conference traffic helped greatly as well. Getting the interest and attention from someone like Dave McClure can be really great, and certainly linking this in to an event like the conference I mentioned. So what does this mean when you're looking to grow your Twitter account and following? Well, I've come up with 10 strategies that I think have really helped to get people engaged and to increase the number of viewers for my tweets. So let's run through them. First of all, photos really help. Nearly all of my successful tweets have had photos or other types of images involved. They just tend to be very quick iPhone snaps on my camera phone. But you can do more sophisticated things if they're pre-planned tweets. I think spontaneity or spontaneousness helps a lot with tweets like this, in my opinion. Strategy number 2, you saw several examples there of me mentioning influential people there, particularly the Dave McClure example. If these people care enough, they're not mentioned all the time, they see the value in having their words of wisdom shared, then they will retweet you, they will favorite you, they'll help you to get some great publicity from your tweets, and from that you get other followers as well. Strategy number 3 is to mention companies who want the publicity in the tweets, and this works very similarly to the example of influential people, especially things like startup companies, smaller companies that I've been involved with. Companies are looking to show the good that they're doing, such as the sponsors for BCU Hack. Very valuable again. Strategy number 4 is to promote the company you work for, and that's worked successfully for me. You saw several examples of the university that I worked for where I promoted them, and we also promoted the students on there, which has exactly the same effect. You can tie it into their agenda as well, and you'll get some publicity from it and some support from the university, because it's a win-win for both parties. Strategy number 5 is to put out positive comments. So the more good things you can say about the achievements of others, the better. So every time I've congratulated someone for winning a prize, I like doing that. It makes me feel good anyway. It's the kind of thing I would do without having to be forced to do it, but it's great for getting retweets, great for getting more people to know about what you're working on and to know about you, and it can lead to positive things in the future. Strategy number 6 is to look at the different Twitter hashtags that are out there, and you can engage with these hashtags. You can generate them when they don't already exist. So if you're running an event and there's no hashtag, then add one, create one, publicize it, let people know about it. It really helps because these hashtags have you associated with them and you get a whole group of discussions going. Strategy number 7 is to build up a series of tweets on a theme. So they say that most tweets now only have a lifetime span of about 2 hours. So you have to tweet more than once to get things to be known about. I try and not retweet exactly the same thing over and over again. Some people do. For me personally, I like to tweet slight variants. I like to make a theme or make a series out of my tweets. So for instance, if I'm running an event or giving a talk, I'll put out several tweets to whet people's appetite. I will tweet after the talk, I'll thank people, I'll retweet the interesting conversations, and I'll tweet when I'm ready to release my slides or perhaps to release a video version of that talk. So you can really build activities up. Strategy number 8 is retweeting other people, help them increase their Twitter reach. Really, it's about you doing for them what you hope they're going to do for you. So you're able to help them get more publicity, which they probably struggle about automatically, and this is a really great strategy to help other people out. They may follow you as well, they may engage with you in the future. Strategy number 9 is to attend or organise events and then engage with them on Twitter. I sort of mentioned about the power of hashtags already, but it's not the only way you can get publicity. You can mention the event organisers. They will hopefully retweet you, they'll hopefully publicise you, use the @ symbol, so you're mentioning @organiser there. And if you organise your own events, then make sure they are tweeted about as well. So in the run-up, during, afterwards. And these can be online events as well. You can engage with these chats now, and you can also engage with online conferences and other similar events. And finally, strategy number 10 is what you should be doing anyway, is to tweet interesting content on a regular basis. People think it's really hard to tweet regularly, but it needn't be. I tweet links to interesting news stories that I think my followers will like. I comment and reply to them if I think there's something interesting they've done, or I tweet about the same thing as them but phrased in a slightly different way or emphasizing a different event. Keep your followers interested, they'll keep engaging with you, and they'll keep your Twitter impressions up. Now, I do tell you need to also do this analysis for your own account. Have a look in the stats provided in Twitter, see what tweets people have engaged with. They may not be the ones you think, and that's exactly what I found out when I did this study myself. My main area of research I'm known for is contract cheating. It's about students paying other people to do their work for them, and shockingly enough, none of my tweets made it up to 1,000 impressions there. They got very close. You saw an example earlier on, which was just below the 1,000 mark. I believe it was a January tweet, but they didn't quite make it there. Now, of course, for me personally, to keep my reputation in that field, then it's important to keep tweeting about that area. There are people interested, it's just a slightly smaller pool, and that's by the very nature of the work. But if you can find another area that more people are interested in, so for instance a lot of my entrepreneurship work, my business startup help, my consulting, then they're areas you should be tweeting about just as much. But it does help to be involved in more than one area because it shows you've got a rounded personality, and this is a real personal account, it's not just a disguised business account. So the question is, what's working for you? Can you take a look at your stats and work this out for you? If you need some help, drop me a line. I'm available for consultation. They're always happy to talk to you, lend a hand, and perhaps help you put together a Twitter campaign or a Twitter strategy. So you can get hold of me at twitter.com/Dr. Lancaster. And if you look on that site, you'll find a link to my blog, to my other videos, and to a lot more of my information and training. Thanks for joining me. My name is Thomas Lancaster, and this is how you can get 1,000 Twitter impressions per day in 2016.